Good morning, Fort McMurray with Buffalo and the rest of the world. You've tuned in to the Mac City Morning Show. I'm your host, Elliot Pierre, and we're going to start today's episode off the same way we start every episode off, with a moment of gratitude. I know you could be doing a million other things with your time, and the fact that you spend it with us truly does mean the world to me, so thank you. On that note, Tanner, hit him with the intro.
Hey, it's Keith Simpson here. I'm the general manager of Norel Toyota, soon to be Fort McMurray Toyota. Pretty excited for our new dealership. We're here to take care of you. Come on down and be part of our family.
And we're back. Big shout out to our title sponsor, Norel Toyota. Really do appreciate your ongoing support. As everybody at home knows, I do not introduce my guests because they can do a better job at that than myself. So sir, can you please introduce yourself to everybody at home?
I'm Mike Deranger, local to the region here, a member of the ACFN Nation. I'm a supporter of Indigenous development, and I'm a big supporter of also what we're doing here today with Pasture Place Detox Center. So this place goes back a long ways. It's special to me because my family's been involved in this area for a long time and involved in this type of work, and I've actually had family members and friends that have been here. So that's why I'm here today. And
there you go. It's a very, very cool and unique spot.
Yeah.
Like, it's one of those things where a lot of people in the community don't know it exists. I first became aware of it when I was working for Acura, and I had to put guys into centers like this. And a lot of the times I would send them to places further down south, BC, sometimes as far as Ontario, depending on where they were actually from, And this was just one of those facilities that I just continued to have success with when I sent guys. So yeah, it's just kind of crazy, and it still exists in the community, and I'm glad that even though I'm not in that industry anymore, the industry that I'm currently in still brings me in here to help tell their story or utilize the services in one way, shape, or form, Very cool.
It's a transient community, right? So we have people from all over the world that come here. So in essence, this place has helped people from all over the world, because I know for a fact, being from McMurray and being from the region, I've seen people from all over the world come here. And I've seen people from all over the world too fall into the addictions that has always been a part of Fort McMurray because of the the boom that we are, and the boom or bust, and the drugs and the alcohol that has always been here.
Yep.
So I have seen people, I've made friends from all over the world, and I've seen them come here, and I've seen them lose everything, even their lives. Come from around the world to come here to do good, and then you get involved in the drugs, the alcohol, the violence, and and I've lost all of them from all different ways. But at the same time too, this place has helped so many too as well. So I've known a lot of these people too that have come here from all walks of life, who have been here and who have changed their lives around. This place has saved so many people.
Yeah.
Friends and family that I know too as well that have been here. And as I mentioned, my family too, they've worked here too. My aunts, my mother. I didn't even know my mother worked here. Well, I remember it now that she told me. This was maybe 20 years ago. But yeah, she was here for a short time too as well. She worked here. One of my aunts worked here from the early 80s, I think, right to the 90s, 10 years maybe.
Okay.
And then, so the social work that my family is involved in, it's a big part of what we do because of the family that we come from. We've lost so many young people in our family, Growing up, I've lost my, my older cousins, my older aunts, uncles, then people my age, and then now I'm watching my nieces and my nephews and their friends, and losing them too. We just lost another young individual, the other day. And to me, that's important because you have to talk about these things. You have to bring awareness to what's going on here in the area, and this place does good work, and it's needed.
Yeah, definitely. It's just one of those things about Fort McMurray. It is such a positive place. You can come here. You can achieve anything. But when people get that money, man, they don't know what to do with it in a lot of cases, is what it comes down to.
Yeah.
And you don't know. You don't know what's going to be a recreational drug user and what's going to make you an addict.
Yeah.
It's just a scary thought. It's just one of those things. When I talk to the kids at school, I'm like, yo, you're with the rap kids that we were chatting with last week. I was talking to some of those boys, and I'm like, man, you guys are about to get 6-figure incomes. You just made it to the NBA. You just made it to the NHL. The difference is, those guys only have a 10-year career. you guys can do this for 30 years plus. You know how much money that is? And they're like, whoa. And I'm like, yeah, but like with that money, like you can only buy so many nice things. You know?
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, you have to. There's that balance, right? You have to be able to provide for yourself, and in that 30 years time, you have a family too. You never know, right?
Yeah.
It could be just you and your girlfriend today, and next year you have a growing family.
And then all your money's gone.
Yeah,
Then you're stuck working. We call that the golden handcuffs. I tell Tana, man, when I used to be in human resources, because it's recruiting, and it's recruiting, but then you got to retain those people. Right? And then if you're lucky, you get to retire those people.
Yeah.
So after I recruited somebody, it was, okay, how do I retain this person? And so I used to like do social events similar to this. Like, hey, we're doing a paint night. Hey, we're going walking through the woods. Hey, we're doing these things, right? And the whole thought process was like, man, I hope they meet a significant other.
Yeah.
Because when they meet a significant other, got them. You're here for life, you know? You build those roots, you build those connections, you have a family, you got a job that supports you well, and now you're just working.
Yeah.
But for some people, you know, they end up here sometimes. So.
Well, that's and that's why we're here today, right? So talking to what's her name again?
Amber.
Amber, yeah, Amber's awesome.
I hate how you called me out on that. I never put a name. Listen, I know that's her name, but dude, I never say anybody's name, so
good.
You got me.
You're still sharp.
Yeah.
So
Wouldn't go that far. But
Yeah.
She was still talking downstairs about her goals and her dreams and some of the stuff that she wants to do, and building a new facility. I think is neat because I'm from here. I know how long this place has been here.
Yeah.
Once upon a time this was a chicken coop, believe it or not. That's people who are young will remember that.
Yeah.
And this area, to me, it's a special area because it's helped so many people. So there is an energy here, and to me, it's important that we continue that energy. Of recovery and resilience and success. And saving lives. That's important. So to me, I think it's time we built a new facility here, state of the art. There's only 16 rooms here. I think we can do 32 rooms here with a new facility. And there have been new facilities built here in the last few years. One in Edmonton, a beautiful one, and even one on what they call the Guyanai Reserve in southern Alberta by Lethbridge that just recently opened, just like in the last month or so.
Okay.
State of the art. So there's no reason why we can't do that here. To me, in this region here, from my side as an Indigenous person, we have all this money here from industry. We have billions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars, that's coming into the community to help. But I believe that we need more of a focus of that money towards our social issues, because on one hand they're saying we're spending $5-point-something billion in the Indigenous community here. Well, the Indigenous community here is only 10,000 people. Out of those 10,000 people, just a handful have direct contracts with industry. We should be seeing a second generation of business owners coming up, and we should be seeing the success of the true Indigenous development in the region that we're a part of the agreements that were signed in the 80s and the 90s. We should be seeing that, but we're not. What we're seeing, in the last few years is a state of emergency. A state of emergency from the local reserves in the region. We're seeing gang activity here. We're seeing all these things, high rates of suicide still, high rates of alcoholism, high rates of drugs and overdoses. So when you talk about the success of, the Indigenous development in the region from industry, because, everybody relies on industry here, but there's things that are happening here that you have to question, where is this spend going? How much of the spend is actually coming here? Or is all this Indigenous spend going out of the region? Why are we having a state of emergency when in the last 10 years we've had, double, triple the Indigenous spend in the region? You have to ask these questions because these questions are directly affecting our people. The pretendianism with all these companies coming here and saying that they're Indigenous companies when they're not, who are not even from this region, all that money is leaving here. And that money is so needed right now because we have such a young, growing, diverse population of Indigenous people from each of the communities, and even though good things are happening, the social issues in reality are still outpacing our success. So it's important that we have a new facility, and I believe the industry can do more, and I believe even our Indigenous communities can do more too as well. So it's a group effort. This has helped so many people from all the different communities, and I think it's time we build a new facility. 100%.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Well, Tanner's tapped his watch, so that means we're out of time, but before we cut you loose, you get a shameless shout out or plug. So we have the mic, the camera, the lights. Have fun.
To the people who helped on the highway last week, and the people in the vehicles too who stayed strong, because we were out there too, and it was a really big group effort from everybody. A big huge shout out to Eastern Mechanical, the boys at Robbie's Towing. They're my neighbors. I love those guys. A couple of other smaller companies too in the region over there. So just everybody coming together. So just a big shout out to the resilience of Fort McMurray. Fort McMurray stays strong, and it's my home.
There you go. Yeah. Awesome. Fort McMurray with Buffalo and the rest of the world. That's been another episode of the Mac City Morning Show. From the bottom of my heart, thank you very much for tuning in. Big shout out to our title sponsor, Neural Toyota, as well as Care from Patchouli Rose and the beautiful people at Coldwell Banker. Hopefully everybody's having a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow. Peace.
It's so ballistic!
Talk about quenching your ugly thirst.
Hi everyone, it's Carrie with Patchouli Rose here at Thickwood Barbershop. If you're wondering what to get your loved one this season for Valentine's Day, I make an all-natural anti-aging skin serum called Good Skin. It's good for men and women, and it's available for purchase here at the barbershop, downtown at the corridor shops and events, and on my website. Thank you for your support.